Okay, I hope everybody had a chance to stretch their legs and fill their bellies. We're going to invite you to find your seats again. We're going to start the second half of the day here. And then I'm actually going to pass the mic over to Emily Roding, our Executive Director at Brain Injury Nova Scotia.
Go. Thanks, Marley. So my name is Emily. I am the Executive Director of Brain Injury Association of Nova Scotia. We're really pleased to be hosting this again with our partners, March of Dimes Canada, and welcome to the second half of today. We have some new folks joining us online and a few in person who weren't here this morning. So for those in person, we are a beautiful day in Chibuktuk, Halifax. Lots of you joining from all across the province, so we appreciate you being here with us. A big thank you for those of us in person, certainly, to New Leaf, part of Easter Seals, for preparing and bringing lunch for us today. It was great. This morning's presentations were primarily focused on community resources and offering that first-person perspective. In particular, the panel, I think we can all agree, was really impactful and really highlights why we do the work that we do. This afternoon, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Our experts will be presenting and discussing some more clinical and research side of things, so including innovative approaches to rehabilitation post-injury. I'm going to introduce our first speakers for this afternoon. So we're pleased to have Ruth McDonald and Deanna Chisholm Tullio. Deanna, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Perfect. So a little bit about Ruth to begin. We're going right back to your BA, Ruth, I think, on your your bio here. So Ruth completed her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from Laurentian University in 1991. After graduation, Ruth focused her career on advocating for and providing services to survivors of brain injury. She demonstrated her passion for supporting brain injury survivors during her time as a board member of her local Brain Injury Association. For the last 25 plus years, she's worked at March of Dimes Canada. Her initial role in the organization was in their supportive housing program, but she has switched roles, moved on to outreach satellite offices, helping set those up to bring brain injury services to various smaller communities across northeastern Ontario. From there, Ruth went on to lead March of Dimes community support services in fee-based operations provincially, and more recently has taken on a more national role as the National Manager of Community Support Services. In that role, Ruth focuses on expanding March of Dimes Canada's disability services nationally, looking for service gaps and partnership opportunities across all provinces and territories. So we'll have Ruth up in a moment. Also presenting is Deanna. Deanna is currently the Regional Director for Community Support Service with March of Dimes in the Northeast region of Ontario. Her work history includes working with individuals with intellectual disability, adults with physical disabilities, seniors, and brain injury survivors. Supporting individuals living with the effects of a brain injury began almost 30 years ago in a hospital setting while working with a clinical psychologist as an intervention therapist. Throughout her years with March of Dimes Canada, she's worked in a variety of brain injury services, from outreach, supportive housing, congregate care, as a frontline rehabilitation worker, and in various management positions. Deanna also has some impressive healthcare experience in long-term care, continuing care, as well as community-based not-for-profit organizations. Deanna has supported regional community support service sector, planning and expanding various networks and committees. Outside of work, on a personal note, I have here that Deanna enjoys being in nature, kayaking, gardening, photography, and spending time with family and friends. All wonderful things. So I'd like to welcome Ruth and Deanna.
All righty. Thank you, everyone. We're very excited to be here in beautiful Halifax. All right, we got the after lunch slot, so hopefully we do okay here. Everyone stays awake. All righty, so community care solutions. For some of you, you may be hearing about March of Dimes Canada for the first time. We're proud to say that we've been around for over 70 years as a not-for-profit organization We were initially established with a focus to find a cure for polio back in 1951. Historically, our service is primarily focused on supporting individuals with physical disabilities following the polio pandemic. In our more recent years, we've evolved to also support seniors and individuals living with the effects of brain injury. March of Dimes Canada is a leading national charity committed to championing equity, empowering ability, and creating real change that will help the more than 6 million people living with disabilities across the country unlock the richness of their lives. We serve, connect, and empower people living with disabilities to participate fully in life on their own terms. Our work is grounded in the voices of the people we support, built on a foundation of service. You'll see our mission to be Canada's leading service provider, resource, and advocate, empowering people with disabilities to live and thrive in communities nationwide. Our current strategic plan, there we go. Our current strategic plan focuses on supporting individuals and their families from youth into adulthood, and for some individuals, this also includes supporting to age in place well into their senior years. We focus on maximizing potential, independence, and overall well-being. Our current focus areas are Best Start for children, youth, and families, independence at home and in the community, active health and connected lives, and through our more recent advocacy work, really focusing on financial security, as we believe that people living with disabilities should be able to avoid or escape poverty and live well with their disability. This next slide shows the rates of disability across Canada. And this image provides us with an overview of the rate that unfortunately demonstrates that Nova Scotia has one of the highest rates in all of Canada. Up until 2006, our organization was centered primarily in the province of Ontario. And we had become, and continue to be, the largest organization within the province supporting individuals with disabilities. We've evolved, and today we have over 2,000 employees, serve over 6,000 clients annually with a budget of over $162 million. Our accredited services are now spread across 6 provinces and territories. A significant portion of our organization's focus is in community support services. These service offerings, shown here on this slide, support individuals to live successfully in their own homes in the community. You'll note with the variety of services that there may be more than one potential intersection between our service offerings. A person with a brain injury might also have a physical disability, may be aging in place, and also require home and vehicle modification. We'll get into more detail about them in a bit. So community support services are provided in one's own home or the community. It could be in our office and focuses on rehabilitation and personal support. So our primary service models are supportive housing, our congregate care program, day program, and providing service and outreach. And my colleague Deanna will talk a little bit more about those programs specifically. So our focus. There are many different aspects to our services, and one of our greatest focus is on our individualized approach to service regardless of the program one is receiving. Our services focus on promoting independence and collaboration with other providers as we respond to the individual's changing needs. This slide represents the many benefits of our wraparound supports. In our almost 30 years of delivering brain injury services, we have found creative solutions to successfully fill community service gaps. Some of these include supporting individuals with more complex needs to transition out of hospital settings, thereby offering a cost-effective solution that emphasizes quality of life once the acute medical care is no longer the focus. All right. So falling in line with some of our panelists this morning that we heard, March of Dimes regularly collects client feedback, and similar themes, regardless of the service, tend to emerge. We believe it's important as an organization to establish and adjust services in a way that empowers the service recipient. Our most recent survey results will not likely be much of a surprise. Who would want multiple agencies in and out of their homes, having to retell their story over and over? Individuals do not want to feel excluded, unheard, isolated, or lonely. And most people would want to feel empowered, an active decision maker in their own care needs, feel safe, supported, and respected, all while they live in their own space in their community. The next slide, this slide's just some quotes that client satisfaction that we've been given from some of the individuals that we support. Now I'm going to talk for a second about our home and vehicle modification program. So for the past 22 years, March of Dimes has delivered a home and vehicle modification program in the province of Ontario. Recently, this investment that addresses community-based accessibility was increased from $10 million per year up to $15 million annually. This increase was due to a demonstrated quality of service delivery, customer satisfaction, and the value derived from ensuring Ontarians with disabilities of all ages can return to their homes safely or age in place independently. Manitoba recently has contracted March of Dimes to deliver a similar program in their province. We are proud of our advocacy work in this area, as these investments play a key role in supporting individuals to remain in their own homes and community. So that's it for my general overview of March of Dimes Canada. I'll let my colleague Deanna take over, and she'll provide greater detail on community support services. Operate this.
A little taller. Thank you, Ruth. So with an aging population and an increased focus on supporting seniors to remain in their home, new funding opportunities to support seniors became available to March of Dimes Canada. And based on our experience in providing personal supports and supporting individuals with their activities of daily living, either through an outreach or a supportive housing model of service, we were able to adapt our services to meet the needs of seniors effectively. Services are provided with the ultimate goal of assisting seniors to remain in their home as safely and as long as possible. While seniors might fall in some of our other target populations, as Ruth mentioned, similar to brain injury, such as physical disabilities or brain injury, March of Dimes Canada has utilized this experience and skill in attendant care to establish a specific service geared to older adults and seniors, as again, as we age, our needs become unique as well, and that has to be factored in. Given the basket of service we provide to the seniors that we work with, supports may start from an area of providing respite care for the client and the caregiver, or homemaking services as an example. Personal support services are introduced to the home, often initially a few times a week, but our funding gives us the availability to, as services and needs progress for that senior or the home environment, that we're able to increase our services to daily visits to the point of multiple visits a day in order to promote someone to safely live in their home environment. And we know oftentimes that's the preferred choice, is to stay at home as long as possible, both for the client and their caregiver and family. The ability to tailor our services to one's changing needs has resulted across all our programs in positive outcomes, not only in this program for the seniors, but the caregiver, as we know, they also are experiencing increased caregiving responsibilities. Our services for adults with physical disabilities, for many of you who are familiar with March of Dimes Canada, that's often the services that we're known for. And certainly it stems from our grassroots beginnings, supporting people that were living with the effects of polio. And it was in a short time after establishing those programs, we broadened our approach to supporting people with physical disabilities. Supporting adults with physical disabilities, whether it means helping them find gainful employment, or again, enhancing their independent living skills and abilities, are just a couple examples of what we do within that service. Again, some statistics earlier noted. Disabilities within the province of Nova Scotia has been researched to be approximately 30% of the adult population. So given this was highlighted, we know in every province, as the growing numbers of disability are noted, to do the supports and resources need to be available to support those individuals to ensure that they are able to live the best life possible. March of Dimes Canada is committed to sharing our knowledge, expertise, and the service models that we've been able to demonstrate being successful with our different stakeholders in different provinces to help with this growing need. Again, our staff provide a similar service as they do in our seniors program, with many of the approaches and focuses being the same. It's about improving quality of life. It's about empowering the individual to be active in their care decisions, while it also means our role in supporting someone to maximize their independence, either in their home or their community where they reside. And we heard earlier with the panel of the importance of what do I want? What's important to me? It may not be what you think the caregiver or the family member does, so we really empower the consumers to certainly be part of that care and really think about what is meaningful to them. This slide is actually a supportive housing program within the area of northeastern Ontario, where I'm the regional director. So it's just a simple overview of an example of a supportive housing program. But beyond the services we can offer in one's private home or apartment, we do operate supportive housing services, which provides access to staff on a 24/7 basis. And depending on the extent of someone's disability, to have access to a staff on a scheduled or unscheduled need is really important to also promote, like be available, promote in the time of need, and also provide that support and security that someone's there to assist close by. In Ontario, we have over 44 different settings similar to this, where we are situated typically in an integrated social housing complex. So we have a mixed model approach to our supportive housing program. Clients have a tenant arrangement with the housing provider for an accessible unit, and we are the provider in the building. We all know that brain injuries don't pick and choose the age, they don't pick and choose the time when a brain injury can come. And a brain injury, we know, can have a manageable impact on someone's functioning to a significant change in one's physical, cognitive, social, and emotional ability. March of Dimes, as a government-funded organization, we've been fortunate to work and learn from many people that have survived from a brain injury. Our services are also oftentimes tailored to those who have access to third-party funding as well. Many eventually do transition to the need of a government-funded organization, knowing that at times their needs for brain injury supports are long-term. Again, some facts related to Nova Scotia. Each year, 1,700 new cases of brain injury are diagnosed in Nova Scotia, and we know that can change lives in a matter of seconds. Rehabilitation focuses on services and care that can make a difference to one's successful independent living, not only for those who've experienced a significant brain injury, but even those who might be diagnosed as what they would say a mild injury might still have an impact on their daily living. We know in addition to this that many cases and situations go undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, and the numbers are probably many unaccounted for. We see our homeless population, we see those incarcerated, oftentimes have experienced a brain injury as well. Our brain injury services tend to be rehab focused versus personal care, with the goal of reteaching a skill that might have been impacted by one's brain injury, or supporting an individual to adopt compensatory strategies to assist. The goals set and addressed can cover any area of functioning, whether that be cognitive, again, social, behavioral, emotional. And again, the importance for us is that those goals are meaningful. And the role of our rehab workers is to support that individual, depending on the outcome, to adjust the approach. Again, there was a comment, if things get easy, is there another area that we can support? Because we know oftentimes there's numerous areas that are important to that individual. So besides our outreach services, we also do supportive housing for within our brain injury program. And we've learned from our long-term supporting of individuals with physical disabilities, the importance of having the security of housing as well as health care combined. Having an affordable house, having the security of staff presence in our brain injury program, oftentimes this means one-to-one service within a daily environment. So again, this is just an example of one of our supportive housing programs that we offer through brain injury services. Congregate care is another form of assisted living service that we provide as an organization. Congregate care tends to support those that have had a fairly significant brain injury, those that may need to support supervision on a 24-hour basis. So again, nothing changes in terms of our approach. We want to make sure that people are fully engaged in the community, making decisions about their own care, and participating in goals that are important. This service oftentimes has a combination of personal support care as well, just given the nature of the individuals that we support throughout these programs. So we have a variety of approaches to offering congregate care. It may be in a property owned by March to Dimes, so this is again an example in the region that I'm responsible for, where we retrofitted a school and created a setting that offers supports to 11 individuals. But we also have smaller versions of homes that we've rented from private landlords, as well as multi-unit within apartment settings that we have support on a 24/7 basis. So hopefully we can be able to see a bit of a video clip that just shares one of our clients' stories. That's always a reminder to us the value of the work that we do.
In May 2015, I got diagnosed with encephalitis. It's an acute inflammation in the brain. When I woke up, it was as if I had just been reborn like a baby.
And are they accommodating you, giving you extra support?
Yes.
In our region, York and Simcoe, Mackenzie Health, in partnership with March of Dimes Canada, put together a collaborative program called York Simcoe Brain Injury Services. We together provide the clinical supports to the individual with the brain injury, as well as functional integrative programming in the community.
I had to relearn everything, the basic stuff that we do every day for life. Both take a shower, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth. I could not do without support.
Oftentimes, after an acquired brain injury, the consumer returns home and they need to be reintegrated back into the community, and that can be quite challenging for families to do.
I think when people are working towards accomplishing what they want in life, of course they're going to be motivated. So I think it's when we're working with any client is trying to find what they would be motivated to work on as a goal. I assist in that process. I don't tell them like, oh hey, I think you need to work on your physiotherapy. For me, I come in and I say, okay, update me on what's been going on. What do you want to continue working on? What goal is working for you? What goal is not working for you? And I like to have that consistent communication to help them be motivated to continue working on it. When I first began working with Sahar, it was kind of having conversations of what is important to her in her life right now. And it's a really good reinforcement because like we're always here. I'm here every week. So it's like, I'm not going away. Like I'm here to kind of work on the goals that you want to work on until you have achieved it.
It just sort of began with just learning the daily functions all over again with support from Mackenzie Health and March of Dimes. Once I started to do things on my own more, I obviously wanted more.
Accomplishments can mean so much. So at that point in time when I first met her, it was the goal of getting her driver's license back.
I wanted to take control of my schooling, take control of driving maybe, getting my license back. Today, I'm still trying to get my life back into order, and I'm still trying to make my life better. You know, every day I'm accomplishing something new.
When you first go into a family's home, they are traumatized. They are overwhelmed by the experience of a loved one having suffered a severe traumatic disability. In this particular case, you have a family who will do anything and everything to support her. That is the primary reason she has done as well as she has, in addition to all of the services she has received from York Simcoe Brain Injury Services.
Just this year, I recently just graduated from York University with a political science degree, and now I plan on taking public relations at Seneca at York. Without the support of March of Dimes, I would not have been able to have graduated from York, and if that had not been possible, I would not be in school right now.
Here we are 2.5 years later, seeing her obtaining those goals definitely is rewarding.
I think it was totally worth it. All of the things that you have to go through to get to the end goal, right? So it's just one step at a time.
To see her today, growing, developing, driving, going to school, being out in the community is magnanimous.
I think if I didn't have March of Dimes, I probably would have not been successful. Well, like 100% I would not be successful.
So that was an example of a service that we provide on an outreach level of basis. So we work in partnership with a local hospital, and that's where we're fortunate to have access to clinical supports as well to support the rehab workers out in the community. So if we have time, we do have one more video, but I also want to cover is an important service that we provide that's fairly newer, I would say, to March of Dimes, considering our independent living services have been around for a while, but it's certainly an important service within our community support services. After stroke, oh, is he going to change? Okay, so we will wait. I'll speak about after stroke and we'll get caught up on the slides. So after stroke, with a more meaningful and compassionate experience across their entire journey of recovery, from the point of hospital to home transition back into the community. The program is centered around executing evidence-based needs assessments, as well as, similar to our brain injury services, creating that individualized participation plan that outlines goals that are meaningful. So similar to brain injury services, these staff are specialized in terms of being trained, having knowledge, and having the supports backing them to address a variety of unique needs and the varying needs of the clients that they support, with an ultimate goal of fostering greatest success. Stroke, we know, is a leading cause of a disability. March of Dimes Canada's After Stroke program is currently available in Atlantic Canada, with personalized supports to survivors and their families. The After-Stroke Coordinator is a position attached to this program, and through the assistance of the After-Stroke Coordinator, both survivors of stroke as well as their families can find guidance through every aspect of recovery. In addition to goal setting, addressing areas of education, introduction to peer support, which we've heard the value of directly today, and approaching community navigation may also be provided through our After-Stroke program. Again, with a focus on implementing best practices and evidence-based approaches. So the next slide just is a summary of the services that are offered through After-Stroke. And it's really that After-Stroke coordinator's role to work with the individual and their personal support network to tailor a service that best meets their needs. So that will be most beneficial. So someone certainly may not need all of these supports, but that basket of service is available to create a plan to support that individual through our organization. And in addition to that, our After-Stroke coordinators will make those referrals that are important as well to other community providers that may provide some benefit to the individual. Are we going to be able to see the video? Sam, any luck with the video? No. Okay, so the second video we had was about a family and a client that resides in our congregate care setting. So it shared his journey of an ATV accident that left him with a significant injury and all the gains and progresses he's made, and how his family, again, was that strong advocate on his behalf and really has supported March of Dimes to grow. The setting that was shown on the slide, this family member was instrumental in really pushing our services to consider the need for a congregate setting and helped with the whole development of it. So it's family members that really, and clients that have that voice and grab the attention of funders that have helped us grow our services that we can offer. So in closing, I would like to certainly extend a special thank you to the Brain Injury Association of Nova Scotia for organizing the event and also providing an opportunity for March of Dimes Canada to share the service and the supports that we feel are important in addressing gaps within the community and really supporting individuals to remain within the communities of their choice and function to the greatest extent that they can. So we certainly strive to address gaps based on our experience and share our knowledge with other providers that may have an interest in expanding and pursuing different supports across the country. And also in closing, I'd also like to make sure that if anyone has not been introduced to Rebecca, that Rebecca is our regional director based here in Nova Scotia, and she is the regional director for community support services. So certainly if there's any questions, we may not have time right now in this session, but we're here for the remainder of the session. So at break, again, our booth, we certainly invite anyone to approach us if there are any questions. So thank you.